starting with, now I told you there are other types of elasticity also. Okay, there are two other types of elasticity. Price elasticity of demand we have already done. There are two other types. One is income elasticity of demand, and the next one is cross elasticity of demand. Okay, now
Ma'am,
income, yes.
ma'am, in exam, if they ask such questions, so whatever formula they have given with it, that also we have to.
Yes, explanation. I will be putting up a worksheet today, and that before also, both the worksheets I have put questions regarding this. I have asked you to draw diagrams even if it is not there, and you have to explain. Suppose you have to explain price elasticity of demand. So it is better you explain it with the help of an example. First, explain what is the meaning of price elasticity, then give the formula for it, ki how do you calculate it, and then it would be better if you explain it with the help of a example. Okay, if
Okay.
it is a question of above 3 marks, 3 or 3 marks, okay, in
Okay.
a 1 or 2 marks it's okay that you explain and give the formula. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
right. So the way we learned price elasticity of demand, we kept everything else as constant, and it is just a relationship between price and quantity demanded. Okay, and it tells you that per unit of price, what is the percentage increase in quantity demanded, whether increase or decrease. What is the change in quantity demanded basically per unit of price. Okay, we calculated it in terms of percentages because then there is no problem of units. The same way we learn in income elasticity of demand, it is a relationship between income of a consumer and the corresponding quantity demanded according to it. Okay, when we study these things, we always consider what two things we are considering. Other than that, all rest things are constant. Okay, so income elasticity of demand is a relationship between income and quantity demanded of a particular commodity. Assumptions that we take here, just hold on a second. Everybody can see the screen?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Is my computer looking like this? Okay, see, price elasticity of demand. It is the same formula, it is the same percentage change in price, percentage change in income to percentage change in quantity demanded. First one was price elasticity of demand, which we had already done. To my children, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. We
You
were
can
seeing
see
it.
the, but
We
it's
were able
stopped,
to
no?
see.
It
Yeah,
stopped. Just wait a
it's
second.
stopped right now.
Just I'll again put it. There is a little connectivity problem. Okay, if the connection drops down, please rejoin again. Okay, because there is a
Okay.
little connectivity problem today at my end.
Same link. Same link, ma'am.
Same link. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, page number 72 and 73 are coming
Are,
for the exam.
of course they are coming for the exam. Your entire book is coming for the
Choose
exam.
cut,
We are on
right?
page number 72 only.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, we need to learn. 72 and 73 page number is not cut, right? It's coming for the
No, no,
exam.
it's not cut. It's not cut. Nothing is cut in your exam.
Do we need to learn the reasons for page 71?
Page 71.
The
The
table.
price, yes, the table you should know. You should know how. See, if you have understood price elasticity of demand, then this should not be a problem to you. Ki why it is considered elastic and why it is not considered elastic. You should go through very carefully. I have given you a question also based on this table. Okay, so you will understand how questions are asked. They'll be giving you a set of objects and ask you ki whether it is a elastic demand or non-elastic demand. So you have to realize whether it is a necessity, whether it is a luxury, whether it is a
Ma'am, your
different
voice is
kind of
cutting.
what kind of good it is, and then you have to decide ki what will be the elasticity of demand for this. Okay, Okay, so we started with types of elasticity. Next is income elasticity or demand. Now in this assumptions we have that price is constant and all other determinants are also constant. Okay, is this clear? Price is constant. Everybody can see the screen now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
You are
all other
highlighting.
determinants of demand, that is taste, preference, prices of related goods, all other things are constant. We are only concerned with income here. So we will see the relationship between income and the changes it causes to demand. Okay. So when we were studying the determinants of demand, you remember we had learned about income also. Yes, and for a normal good, if your income changes, if your income
Rukun na.
increases or decreases, there is a shift in quantity demanded. Okay, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, no.
Yes, remember the last chapter? Yes, Krishna and Siddhant. Why so late today?
Ma'am, I was having my breakfast.
Am
I was having my breakfast.
at this time? You don't know you have your class?
Rice illa.
Huh? I've told you I will not admit if you are late to the class. Okay. So the definition is income elasticity of demand measures the degree of change in demand due to change in income. Okay, it is the same as what we have learned in price elasticity of demand, only instead of price now you are concerned with demand income. Okay, so you can also write it in terms of percentages. It is ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded due to a percentage change in income, right? So now your elasticity of income, it is now shown by E and a small I. I is your income, which is percentage change in demand, that is quantity, divided by percentage change in income. It is the same formula, only instead of price we now use income. Okay, so if you put all the things here, you get the formula delta q by q over divided by delta y by y. Y I have always told you it is shown as income. Y is always income. Please put yourselves on mute, children. There's a lot of disturbance. So your formula comes out to this. Okay, change in quantity demanded divided by the change in income multiplied by the original income divided by original quantity. Okay, now here EI, this EI is your income elasticity of demand. Delta Q is your change in quantity demanded. Q is your, yes Arya.
Ma'am, you had explained this. You had shown the example of this formula before, right? This
No,
one.
I had shown you the form example of price change, elasticity
Okay,
of
ma'am.
demand, price elasticity of demand. Okay, this is
Okay.
income elasticity of demand. I told
Sorry,
you
ma'am.
the only difference here would be the change in price. Prices are not faring here. Okay,
Okay.
only your income is faring here, right?
Sorry.
So here you will have on the y-axis you will have income, right? Instead of price you will have income on the y-axis and quantity demanded on the x-axis. Okay. Now there are types of income elasticity, right? Now what are the types of income elasticity? One is positive, one is negative, and one is zero. Okay. Positive income elasticity, that means when you compute income elasticity with the help of this formula, the result that you get is positive. Okay, that merely tells you that as you increase your income, the demand also increases, and this we have learned that it happens in case of normal goods, right? For example, milk. If your income has increased, you were buying milk only for drinking purposes, now you will also buy milk for other purposes like curd or like cheese or butter, whatever. Okay, so this, when you get a positive value, it means that income has increased and demand has also increased. That means income and demand has a positive relationship here. Okay. If you get a negative value, right, this shows an inverse relationship between
Ma'am,
income. Yes. Yes.
ma'am, in income elasticity of demand, the income is more, and in positive income elasticity, the income and uh, demand are increasing.
in income and demand, when you are seeing the relationship, when we were doing price and demand also, I told you when you get a negative sign, that shows there is an inverse relationship between price
Yes.
and demand. Yes. And for price and demand for normal goods, it is a inverse relationship. Yes. You will get a positive relationship if it is a given good or a inferior good. Okay. In this
Yes.
case also, we are learning this only for what we will get what. Okay. If you get a positive sign, that means your income is increasing and demand is also increasing for that commodity.
So
And
that is positive
that's
income
positive,
elasticity.
and that will happen
Yes.
when it is normal good. It is positive income elasticity of demand. Okay. This happens
Yes.
when it is a normal good, because for normal goods, as you increase your income, you increase the consumption of those goods also. Yes, Arya.
Ma'am, negative inferior goods, do they mean given goods?
In given goods are one part of inferior goods. I told
Okay.
you that. Okay. For low
Yes,
income
ma'am.
families, as their income increases, their demand for given goods increases. Why? Because they cannot afford other things. I had given you an example of bread at that time, right? Their demand for bread increased because they could not go for meat or fish. This is for lower income goods. Okay. So here, for negative elasticity of income elasticity of demand, when you get a negative value for it, when you are computing, you get a negative value of it. That means your income has increased, but your demand for that good has decreased. Now, when does that happen? If it is an inferior good, that means when you increase your income, when your income has increased, you can buy a better quality good for in place of that. Suppose, let's take an example of tea. Initially, a household was buying the open teas that you get. They are little cheaper, right? And if there is a slight increase in income, now they can go for branded stuff, right? So this is, so they will decrease the demand for open tea that they were buying, and they are now going for a branded stuff. Okay. So the demand for tea has decreased for them, the tea that they were initially buying. Okay. That is the meaning of income increasing and demand going down. Okay. Such things happen when it is an inferior good. Okay. The definition of inferior good is this only, where as your income increases, your demand for that particular commodity goes down. Okay. Third is, you can have a zero income elasticity of demand, right? Zero income elasticity of demand is there is no change in demand if there is a change in income, right? If either your income increases or your income decreases, there is no change in quantity demanded. This is also known as perfectly income inelastic. That means that particular good has no relationship with your income. Understood? Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, all three cases are clear to you?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, zero demand, I'm not understanding. Zero income
When
elasticity.
you put all the values in this formula and you get EI equal to 0, the same way we used to
Okay.
get price elasticity equal to 0, we had a case of
Yes.
perfect inelasticity of price, right? The
Yes.
same is here when you get income elasticity as 0. In this
Okay.
case, you have no relationship between demand and income. Okay. Whether your income increases or decreases, there will be no change in quantity demanded of that
It will
particular
be
commodity.
zero.
It will be 0. There will be no
Ma'am,
change. Your demand curve will not change. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Arya.
ma'am,
Mhm.
for zero thing, it is an ideal situation,
It's
right?
an ideal
Always.
situation. Normally, for income changing, your income changes and it does not have any debit. They must be thinking things like salt. Salt is something which you usually use, and there is a particular quantity of that salt that you use. So whether your income increases or decreases, it is not going to have any change on salt consumption. It's going to have
Demand of
no.
commodity
So,
decreases.
right?
Okay.
Demand of
Okay. So this
commodity.
is clear. Income elasticity of demand is clear to all, right?
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
the last one that we are left with
Yes, ma'am.
is your cross elasticity of demand. Okay. cross elasticity of demand is when there is a change in price of related good. That means it is a either a close substitute of it, or it can be a complementary good. Okay, right? Sorry. So income cross elasticity of demand we will show with EC, right? Here E shows your elasticity and C means cross elasticity. Okay, this also has the same formula, the same assumptions, everything else is constant other than the price of related good. Okay, so here we have PR, change in PR. Okay,
PR.
PR, remember we had learned determinants, function of demand curve, second chapter.
Yes, ma'am.
Prices of related good, right?
Yes,
Prices
ma'am.
of related good also affect the demand of a commodity. That means suppose if X and Y commodities are close substitutes of each other, if the price of Y changes, it affects the demand of X. Yes, how? Suppose it is Coke and Pepsi, X and Y goods. If the price of Coke increases, it affects the demand of Pepsi, because Pepsi then becomes relatively cheaper than Coke. So people can easily shift from Coke to Pepsi. Okay, in this case, taste and preferences, prices of other things, your income, everything other than is taken as constant. Okay, so the formula again becomes the same, right? This is your formula, change in quantity of X divided by quantity of X with respect to change in price of Y. Please remember this here. We are learning cross elasticity. Change in commodity quantity demanded of X with respect to price of Y. Okay, so do not confuse this with price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand is between the same commodity, quantity of X and price of X. Okay, this is between quantity of X and price of Y, right? So your formula comes like this: EC is equals to change in Q by change of price of Y commodity multiplied by price of Y commodity divided by quantity of X. Is this clear in cross elasticity of demand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody has any problem in this? Please pay attention to the X and Y, because here we are taking two commodities. Okay, we are seeing the relationship between one commodity with the price of other commodity. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so don't confuse in this. Okay, now this also has three types of there are three types of cross elasticities: positive, negative and zero. Okay, positive, that means your EC value is positive. This means if price of Y is increasing, that is price of commodity Y is increasing, the quantity demanded of X increases. Right, this I just now explained to you. It is a close substitute. In close substitute, this will happen, that price of one increases or decreases, the quantity demanded of the other good will increase or decrease in the same way. Right, positive is clear to all.
Ma'am, may you give an example? I'm little
Just now
confused.
I gave you an example of Pepsi and Coke. If Pepsi and Coke are close substitutes, right? If
Yes.
price, now we take Coke as quantity X good, okay, and Y is your Pepsi, right? Now if the price of Pepsi increases, PY is increasing, okay,
Yes.
people will leave drinking Pepsi and they go in for Coke.
Coke.
So demand of Coke increases. That means demand of X increases. Okay. So change in P of price of Coke has increased the demand for Pepsi, right? That is close substitute. So this positive relationship always happens when it is a close substitute. Okay. Negative, when it is a complementary good. Complementary good means like pen and paper, car and petrol. Yes, both are needed together. So if price of one increases, the quantity, its quantity demanded will go down. Suppose the prices of car increases, right? So quantity demanded of car goes down. And when quantity demanded of car goes down, petrol demand also goes down. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
ma'am.
So a negative relationship you will get when they are complementary good. Okay. And now is elasticity is equal to 0. Cross elasticity is 0. This happens when the goods are not related to each other at all. Okay, that means a change in price of one is not going to affect the quantity demanded of other. For example, I have given milk and cloth. Milk and cloth are not related to each other at all, right? So if price of milk increases, what effect is it going to have on cloth? Nothing. Is it going to have any effect on cloth?
No.
No, ma'am.
Right? So these are not related goods. So for goods which are unrelated, the cross elasticity of demand is 0. Okay? Clear?
Yes.
Yes. Now with this, we have finished this chapter. Okay? We have finished this chapter. Now there are two numerical examples given to you. I have shown you numerical that day, how to do it when it is percentage and how to do it. There are simple formulas. You have to just put it in formulas only. Okay? Yes.
Ma'am, you will take a recap when we come in the school, no?
Yes, I will take a recap, but I will not take the entire chapter. Right? Only your problems I am going to take. That is why I am telling you to pay attention here. Did you do the questions that I told you to solve the numericals?
Ma'am, I have a doubt in
Yes,
that.
ask. Which question?
Ma'am, I have a doubt in the third question.
Third question. The price of commodity goes up from 5 to 6. Okay. As a result of which demand falls from 10 to 8 units. Calculate the price elasticity of demand. Now let me try to write it down if I can manage to write so that you can understand better. If I have, do I have something, whiteboard or something? Yeah. There is no whiteboard. Okay, let me try it here only. Right? So you are given price. We have been given two prices. Let's say your first price P is, can you see?
5.
It's 5. Your P is 5. Okay. Your P1 is 6.
P1 is 6.
P1 is 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I think I can write it on the board.
Ma'am, you can
Quantity
use
given
the
is,
whiteboard.
yes, I can.
8 units.
Wait, I'll stop sharing and use the board.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, normally these numericals come in section A or section B.
When I was seeing your papers, I did not see a direct numerical in any of the papers, right? Don't smile. But they have asked, explain it with the help of example. So when you give an example, you have to show the entire computing. Understood? So you should know both, because they have asked it in terms of percentages also. They have asked it in terms of price elasticity otherwise also. Okay. So you have to learn examples for each kind. That is why I told you to solve all these. Now just
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, I have one more doubt.
and yes, let's finish with this. You're finished with this doubt?
No, ma'am.
Ask.
Ma'am, in the first one.
First question also.
Yes.
80% fall in price of commodity leads to 100% increase in its demand. This is a direct question. The formula for elasticity of demand is percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. Both the percentages are given to you. Substitute it in the formula, take out the answer. What is difficult in this?
Ma'am, not understand.
Percentage change is given as 80%. 80% fall in the price of commodity. That means percentage change in the price of commodity is 80%. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Second thing, 100% increase in its demand. That means percentage change in demand is given as 100%. Substitute in the formula percentage change in demand, quantity divided by percentage change in price. 100 divided by 80. What does it give you?
100 divided by 80.
Yes, the percentages are given to you directly. You don't even have to calculate percentage.
8
100
upon
divided
10.
by 80. That
4.
gives you 10 by 8.
5.
5.
4 by 5.
4 by 5, ni 5 by 4. 100 by 80.
Ah, 5/4.
So that gives you 1.25.
Yes,
Yes.
understood.
Understood? Percentage questions, when they are given directly to you, you have to use the direct formula. Okay. Now, when you ask me the question third, there P is given to you 5, P1 is given to you as 6. Write it down. Second is
Yes,
quantity is given as, Q is given as 10, Q1 is given as 8. Right? So your formula becomes ED is equals to change in Q divided by change in P. Can you see the notebook I am
Ma'am,
showing
now
you?
understood. Ma'am, understood.
All
Yes,
of you
ma'am.
understood?
Ma'am, now we have to, ma'am, we have to apply the formula, no?
Yes, you have to apply the formula. That is why
Yes,
I said
understood.
all of you solve these questions and send it to me. Yes?
Yes,
Normally,
ma'am.
these are all direct formulas only. In some of the questions, you have been given the elasticity and you have to find out either the price or the quantity, which also you have done. I had shown you the example of that. Let the quantity be X, then you substitute everything in the formula and find out the quantity. Clear? I want to see these solved worksheets. All of you have to submit it to me, right? Okay, now I'll be posting a worksheet here and you will be doing it. Now let's go to the next chapter. We are starting with the next chapter, supply, the theory of supply. Okay, now theory of supply, if for you people, it's the basic concepts of supply only. It is exactly the opposite of demand. Okay, so if we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
understood demand properly, there will be no problem in understanding supply. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Theory of supply. Okay. Now for the homework, I'm putting a worksheet. You
Yes,
will
ma'am.
just wait 1 second. There is a problem with connectivity. Not responding.
Someone is trying to ask something.
Yes, just hold on.
Ma'am, on these types of sums only.
These types of sums only, yes. These types of sums only for you.
Only supply thing will be there.
Now in this chapter, yes, only theory of supply we are going to learn. Supply is totally opposite of demand. Yes. Can you see the screen, children? Theory of
No,
supply.
ma'am. It might be.
Just wait.
No, ma'am. It might be loading.
Wait.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, the worksheet will be on these types of sums only, no?
Yes. I think I have not given you any questions. These questions are more than enough for practice. I have not given you a numerical question in the worksheet. Only one I had given in the last worksheet. In this, so I have asked you to draw curves, demand curves of all kinds. Okay. These numerical questions are enough for you. 10, 11 of them. You don't require more than that. Okay, let's see. Share. Okay. Now can you see? Children, can you see theory of supply? No?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. So we are starting the theory of supply today, our 4th chapter. Okay. Now what is supply? What is demand? What was demand? What was demand? Who can tell me?
Ma'am, demand when was a quantity demanded for a certain price.
When you want something and you are ready to pay the price for it, put in the effort for it, yes, and at the same time you are ready to pay the certain price on which it is available. Okay, that was your demand. right? Supply also is the same. A little opposite is, it is that quantity for sale at a particular price which is offered by the producer. Demand is for the consumer, supply is for the producer, okay, which he is going to offer at that particular point of time at that particular price. Understood? So all the three components that we had in demand, that is, it is at that point, at the price that he is, at the price that he is wanting to supply. Okay, so this is, if suppose a farmer has 100 quintals of wheat to sell, right, and the market price at that time is suppose 100 rupees per kg, he doesn't want to sell it at 100 rupees per kg. Okay, so at that time he may not give it, he may not supply that, so it is not supply at that time. When the price rises to 120, he will be ready to supply it. Okay, so for him supply price is 120 rupees. Okay, is it clear to you children? Is it
Yes,
clear to you?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so your supply is quantity offered for sale at a particular price and time by the producer. Okay, or it can also be defined as a schedule of quantities that will be offered for sale at various prices. That means at price 120 he is giving you 10 quintals. Okay, then he increases at 140, he is ready to give you maybe 15 quintals. Okay, so this way at different prices he is ready to offer some quantity, he is offering some quantity to you. That is the supply schedule. Okay, so there are three main features. First is the desired quantity, how much he is willing to sell, not how much he has to sell. I told you he has 100 quintals with him, but he is not ready to sell it at 100 rupees. Okay, he is ready to sell 20 quintals out of it at 120. When price increases to 130, maybe he is ready to sell 25 quintals at it. Okay, so it is the desired quantity that he wants to sell and not the stock which he has to sell. Okay, then supply is also in relation to price. It is always in reference to price and nothing else. Like demand.
I know, I remember that. काका ते बघा ना photos कुठे मिळाले
Who
तर.
is
I love to send
speaking?
you some
Please
photos.
put yourself
तुम्हाला
on mute,
बोलते.
children. So as demand is related to price, your supply is always related to price, and it is a flow concept. It is not a stock. That means it is not telling you at this particular point of time, right? It's over a period of time. Supply is also a schedule, not a single point. Okay, that is why it is a flow concept and not a specific time period. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, features are clear. Now there is a difference between supply and stock. I think it is given in your book. Yes, there is a difference between supply and stock. I told you he might be having a stock, the total product that he has for sale, but it is not necessary that he puts the entire product for sale. Okay, he will have specific quantities at specific prices. So those specific quantity at specific prices is your supply. That is, supply is that part of stock which is offered for sale with changes in price. Okay, stock is the total amount that he has to offer to you. Clear the difference between stock and supply?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, stock and supply will become the same if he is giving the entire quantity that he has, he is offering it for sale. Then they become the same, supply and stock. Otherwise, supply and stock are different things. If you know or if you have seen, producers of things, they keep things in godown and only some things they keep in the showroom or they bring it to the market. Okay, so they have a separate stock and they have separate quantity of supply. Right?
Ma'am, so this supply the goods which are from the stock which are produced for the sale. You mean to
Yes.
say that?
Yes, produce what he has produced, the total quantity, that is his stock. But how much he is going to offer to you at different prices would be his supply. Understood? If he has 10
Yes.
cupboards in his stock, he is offering only 2, because at this time the price that is prevailing in the market, at that price he is only going to give you 2. If the
So
price
the
increases,
two,
who is supply?
so the two is the supply.
Yes, and stock is 10. Okay.
2 tables.
Yes. So
Yes,
they
ma'am.
also go by the price. Producers also for supply. The way consumers went in for demand, the same way producers also look at the price when they have their demand schedule, supply schedule. Okay. In demand, we had an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. That means when the price increased, your quantity demanded decreased, right? In supply, you have a positive relationship between supply and price. That means if the price of a commodity increases, the supply will increase. Why will that happen? Why will that happen?
Ma'am, may you repeat once?
I said in demand you had an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, right? In supply you have a positive relationship. That means when price increases, the supply of that commodity
Ma'am,
increases. Why?
ma'am,
Yes.
because in demand, the consumers, it depends on their income. Like, if they are getting more salary, they will buy more milk.